What got me sober and what led me to creating Monkey on Your Back? So I guess that started back in January 2009. My last time being arrested was for a DUI. And if I was convicted, I could have been looking at 9 years in prison because I already had 3 years that I was on probation, and there's a 5-year automatic mandatory serving for a third DUI. I had heard of a rehab facility that oftentimes the courts will accept as looking at you as being reformed and giving perhaps a lesser sentence or something of that nature. So I went ahead and I tried that. Luckily, it was accepted, and I wound up in rehab. I did 9.5 months, 1 year for every year that I was addicted. I learned a lot when I was in these rehabs. I learned so much more than what I ever learned when I was in the court-ordered drug classes and stuff of that nature. I had no idea that there was actually free help. Things that places, communities, organizations that would help people and actually find them additional help so that they can get back on their feet, all free of charge. So that leads me sort of to the why. There was quite a number of years leading up to this. I'm over 13 years clean now, as this video is being made. I guess 13 and a half years now. I started working with an organization to raise money for people trying to go into rehab. And I became sort of a producer-y type role, if you will. I was in the field. I would go out and find rehabs and interview and speak with them. And coming from the fact that I went to 2 free inpatient rehabs and it was successful for me, because of the way that I got clean, which I talk about in the series, in the seminar. So I seeked out other rehab facilities just the same. And as I acquired more knowledge about that, and I became a speaker at events for the organization I was helping with, and interacting with parents and loved ones and addicts, and it was like a bug that hit me, kind of like the acting bug. But from there, I started to do additional work on my own, such as creating playlists on YouTube, talking about my road to recovery and how I made it work for me, and how I was able to get off the street after rehab, which is a story in itself. I spent 6 months almost on the street after rehabilitation, and I was able to stay sober. So that's why I believe so much in those types of rehabs that I talk about in the seminar. And then from there, I wrote a play to raise money for not-for-profits, and also helping other people on the side one-to-one. And I felt as though I had a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, being as how I actually come from a broken home and drug addiction and many generations of addiction and alcoholism. I've spent my whole life around this, and I've learned a lot, and I've seen a lot of people take the wrong steps as well as I had before becoming more knowledgeable. So this is really just set up to save people a lot of time, effort, and hopefully a life or two, by sharing the knowledge that I've been fortunate enough to survive long enough to acquire, and hopefully help people avoid some jail time, or because you might not be as lucky as I was. I was a fortunate story. There's not many like mine. I'm aware of that. And that's why I'm reaching out to try and give back, so that those who won't be as lucky doesn't have to be unlucky. And now the thing is about my the moment when I made that decision that I was getting clean, it wasn't just solely based on the fact that I was looking at all those years in prison. Yes, that was a huge motivator, but I would have never been able to do it had I not wanted it for me, for myself. I had tried multiple times throughout the years, throughout the 9.5 years that I've been addicted, to stop, for loved ones, for girlfriend, for family, for work, for everything. And I was never able to do it. I was maybe able to last like 18 hours or something. I'm just kidding, like 36 hours. But it wasn't until I realized I was physically addicted to alcohol. And if I did not drink, then I would be sick. I would have tremors. I had to drink as soon as I woke up in the morning. I could not drink all day. And that was the domino that toppled and knocked all the rest down for me and gave me the view of what I'd become and where I found myself. So you have to want it for yourself, because you will never, ever, ever, and your loved one has to want it for themselves. It will never happen. Sobriety, long-term sobriety, will never happen if they don't want it for themselves or yourself. It's the one time when being selfish, and when I say being selfish, I mean by taking the time that you need to get over the addiction and put the rest of the world on hold. But don't do it unless if you truly want it for yourself, because then it'll just be a waste of time.